are addicts. I can say word for my mom because she's deceased, but a lot of people in my family are addicts.
Okay.
Drug addicts, alcohol, all of that. But I've seen things. I think like for some of them, something happens tragic in their life.
Yes.
That makes them want that as said to me, that numb feeling.
Yes.
That just don't want to know nothing, don't want to feel nothing feeling, and that's where the drugs come in, or the alcohol, or whatever comes in.
Okay.
Is that found to be true that a lot of people use drugs and alcohol to suppress memories, feelings, and stuff like that? Is that a way that some people do start their addictions?
If I can, I can explain it better in words.
Okay.
First, what must a caterpillar endure to become a butterfly? The caterpillar's destiny is to survive for the renewing, preparation, and transformation through the metamorphosis stage by reaching the safety of the cocoon. The purpose of the process is to receive a reward for the struggle by becoming the beautiful creature God intended us to be. The character of the book, her name is Mary Pumpkin, and she says, "Hello, my name is Mary Pumpkin. I am one person who has two different personalities and who suffers with a dual diagnosis, co-occurring disorders of depression and addiction. I happen to be suicidal, yet that is not my story. I'm a survivor who lives every day with hope. No, life is not always easy, and every day is a challenge, but I've learned to become an advocate for change. Society misuses and misunderstands the word addict and needs to understand that everyone has a form of addiction. It is easy for society to look down on the person suffering with drugs and alcohol, but what about the closet addict who lives every day with an addiction and the world does not see or want to believe they have a problem? I, Mary Pumpkin, had to learn to examine myself. I had to learn and accept what were the root causes to my addictive, mental, and suicidal behavior. Once I became a consumer of mental health and received the correct treatment from psychiatric inpatient and outpatient wards, along with education from the drug rehabilitation program, my life began to change. I began to accept my bottom, and from there I gained knowledge and took the necessary steps needed to begin my recovery. I learned through recovery how everyone's bottom is not the same, and how people with co-occurring disorders battle secret pains and have a story to share. Most stories shared are the feelings of lost hope, guilt, trauma, low self-esteem, and self-worth, all mixed together with the shame and the stigma that keeps many enslaved from reaching out for help. This is better known as pride. The sad part of being an addict was that until I admitted to my addiction and depression, my life had become unmanageable and my process of recovery could not begin. Once I became true to myself, Pandora, I accepted the hand of mercy that reached down to save me, and I accepted the hand of grace that gave me hope and courage to share my memoirs. See, my book is an extraordinary, Memoirs of an Addict, Fact or Fiction, is an extraordinary combined book and workbook that will not save the world, just enlighten and give hope that only a higher power can save and give any person the necessary tools to defeat addiction, depression, and thoughts of death. For those out there who have been blessed and are what the world calls normal, I'd like to ask you a question. Can an addict ever be free? Can a person with mental health disorders live a normal life? Or could the answer possibly be in harm reduction? See, I am a survivor of mental health, drug abuse, and a life of suicidal behavior. For anyone who has walked in my shoes, and for those who have not, Now you'll understand why I am no longer among the walking dead. So when you say, was there an issue to why a person may use drugs? First, America, I want to let you all know, the crack cocaine epidemic was not our fault. We became addicted to crack cocaine because of the system. See, if you could keep me high, I didn't see you moving into Washington, D.C. Marijuana is the gateway that led me to smoking. I'm talking for myself. Marijuana led me to smoking PCP. When the PCP and marijuana was gone, crack cocaine moved into Washington, D.C. and made us the murder capital of the world. So, for those who have suffered with crack cocaine, God told me to tell you today, it wasn't our fault. Now, look at Washington, D.C. Is it still the murder capital of the world? This is an all-star weekend in Washington, D.C. You wonder why somebody might get high? In the New Jack City movie, it said people who are depressed want to get high. If you look at, fortunately, I am a resident of Washington, D.C., but my family can't move back and buy a house. That makes a person depressed too. Right. So yeah, there were issues, there are rooted issues to why. Talking about trauma, things that we didn't talk about, being sexually molested.
Right.
So yeah, there are hidden roots to why a person gets high. Oh yeah, we're gonna bust hell wide open because it's already God told us. This is it. This is it, and this is the age of Aquarius.
There used to be a song called
Yeah,
Age of
girl.
Aquarius. Yes.
Check it out, y'all. Let's learn our history.
Okay, so are you saying that the crack epidemic was planted here? Was planted here to destroy our people, basically?
Yes, that's what I'm saying, and I stand by it. I often tell people when I do interviews, there was a news report by Ted Koppel, I think that was who it was, and Ted Koppel reported that there was a drug in New York City that was taking the people by storm. People from Wall Street were going into these buildings, places that they've never been. And he prepared us to get ready that it was coming to our town. So, if we go back and check history, the main cities that was impacted by the crack cocaine epidemic, I need people to check the history to see how those cities are doing 2018.
Yeah, D.C. D.C. When I say D.C., I'm speaking for Maryland and Virginia because a number of people from Virginia used to come across just to get it.
Yes.
You know, like what is D.C. Virginia tags doing over here?
D.C. and Maryland come to get the drugs from D.C. So, I mean, even on movies, what's my man, Ace? I can't think of it. Ace, when they was selling the drugs. The guy who shot Ace said, let's go down D.C. They jumping.
See? And I noticed, because I was younger then, that a lot of things now that is on TV that they're pursuing, it's really happening or happened.
Yes.
You know, it's like they're telling you what they're going to do and what's going to happen.
Yes.
You know, so.
And that's why I want everyone to understand that the crack, if your parents or your family suffered with the crack cocaine, you know, dig deep, you know, and forgive them and let it go and let's move forward.
Right. And like I say, it runs in my family, but I know some of the why, you know, the root of the cause.
Yes.
You know, and I think my aunt, she's been clean for years now. You know,
Right,
so,
Auntie.
Yeah. And people don't understand. If you were little and watched your family go through addiction, it's a celebration when they could get past 2 years.
Yes.
1 year, 2 years, 3 years. If they could just get past some years, it's something to celebrate because it's hard.
It is hard. I was 99 pounds soaking wet.
And as I got older, I didn't understand, so I used to talk to my mom. My mom went over to a program, I don't know if they still have it, y'all, over at St. E's called KDAC.
Wow, I don't think so.
You don't think they have it anymore? Mm-hmm. It was a program over there. My aunt and my mother and my aunt went there. And my mom came home and she used to tell me about she had dreams and cravings. I was like, cravings is something you ate? She said, no, you dream about doing drugs.
Drug
that
dreams.
Craving. She said it could be something you can just smell it. I'm like,
yes, drug dreams.
You know, so if you've never been there, you won't understand. So you got to learn to have patience.
Yes.
And try, like my mother used to say, people, places, and things.
And now it's
look,
situations.
me young in school, I'm like, nouns, pronouns, and adjectives. But I'm like, come on, why we can't go over which kind of house? Because I go over to her girlfriend's house and play with her kids. No, we can't go over there no more.
It took us by storm.
Yeah.
And, as someone who has indulged in that particular drug as well, to me, it's like a dirty drug because you don't want nobody to really know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And my mom used to say when the epidemic came with the crack epidemic, she would tell the family, if I catch you sucking that glass thing,
yes,
I will disown you. Mm. And my mother and father were the matriarchs of the family, besides my grandmother, who we call Big Mama. They were the matriarchs. So when they said something, you did it. Right. Okay, and you listen. And I was always like, oh my God, my mother, in doing that. And it bothered me. But the addiction, because there was no other marijuana or no PCP we were smoking, all of that was eliminated. I mean, it got to the point that with the PCP, we was putting it on parsley flakes, trying to get high on the parsley flakes, and it wasn't working. So it moved us to that. And what it did, what crack cocaine did, was it separated the family. Mm-hmm. What we knew as the family, Sunday dinners, were no longer, well, where's Baby and Shay Shay? They over in that room, or they not coming over, and you don't come out. So the crack was, like I said, it just separated the family. And I didn't want to have my mother's, that image in her mind that, damn. So I became a closet addict.
All right, y'all, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. I'm about to play this song by indie artist I met. His name is Chris Matthews. Shout out to Chris. The name of the song is In My Feelings. Here we go.